Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have one of the craziest, weirdest stories that's been ongoing throughout these past few days, where it essentially is going in following a mental breakdown and bipolar mess, for lack of better terms, of just how this whole situation's been unfolding, going on right now with one of the really popular YouTubers, TikTokers, songwriters, and all that stuff all throughout the internet. Now, I'm gonna show you guys a lot of different stuff because it's just been such... It's bad to say intriguing story because it's not necessarily a good thing to find like this type of stuff entertaining. It's like entertaining in a really bad way / you're worried about them type of way. But there's just so much weird stuff that has happened, and some folks are now saying that this has all been faked for publicity. Some folks are saying that this is like a legitimate like mental breakdown going on, and I've been hearing a lot of different sides from people on Twitter, on TikTok, and everything. And I just want to go and talk about this because this is just one of the weirdest things that was constantly trending all throughout this weekend and these past few days, and in all honesty, just a very, very almost scary situation to go be in, depending on what is true, what is not true, and what actually kind of happened at the end of the day. Now, I'm not a mental health professional too when it comes to all this stuff, so my little quick disclaimers before we fully dive into the video. But like I said, we have been seeing some folks saying it was like a stage presence and like all fake for publicity, and some folks saying this is actually like legitimate. So if you guys missed all throughout this news, and if you guys like this weird like YouTuber / all this type of stuff news, let me know. There's a pretty big content creator who's been floating around the internet for years called Gabbie, Hanna. She's done songs, she used to be really, really popular back in the day, like even with the Shane Dawson type crowd, and she's kind of gone through a lot of like momentarily breaks of not making content and kind of disappearing and coming back and all of that. So throughout this past few weeks, we saw some kind of crazy stuff. Now, this is weird to go and first of all say the least. If this is all legitimate, like what happened, like not like a showing, you know, when it comes to YouTube, TikTok, and stuff, you have to be somewhat skeptical, especially with a lot more other folks bringing that up too as well. But basically, there was just an unhinged, unimaginable amount of TikTok content that was produced in a few days. And this was essentially just a really strange saga of this woman, not exaggerating, having a mental breakdown, like a full-on bipolar breakdown, just and basically going and publicizing this all up on TikTok on the day-to-day note. So when it comes to all this stuff, this essentially started like, I was watching this, I saw it trending, and I was just kind of curious in what's going on. It was crazy. So it's kind of started off to like some pretty big things in terms of more of like,
so last
God.
night, I literally was given heaven. I got one day in heaven.
And we have some of this type of stuff, you know, religious or not, just kind of just, if you have some random person kind of go and say this and push a really big religious relief going on, a lot of people are, again, like, we're really worried. This was like 5 days ago at this point, where people were like, hey, bro, like, don't listen to your head. Like, I'm exhausted watching this. Like, bro, like, just be careful. Like, please, like, she needs family, friends, something with her, please, for the love of God. And it kind of kept on progressively getting worse and worse and worse as time kind of kept on going on. To the point where a lot of people are just like, hey, you need to stop. You need to get off the internet. You need to just give up on this. Like, please, like, don't make a TikTok for a day. Like, you guys can see all these TikToks all probably within like an hour-long basis, where some folks were literally basically tracking her to when she fell asleep to 5 hours later when she made another huge swarm of TikToks. Now, as a content producer, she, number one, got a lot of brand new followers, which is good for publicity, and also got a bajillion different views. Like you see how every one of these TikToks, 2.5 million views, 6 million views, 4 million views, etc., etc. And basically, this was all just crazy. So if it was true, this was a scary situation, and no one was able to really help her. It was almost just like one of those, like, please, like, someone in that area, their family, someone please reach out and let them know they're okay. Now, we had a lot of big publication, too, as well, kind of spread on out with this, because it got even worse. Like, having, like, a mental breakdown and kind of going through, like, a whole bipolar spiel is not a good thing to have publicized, because you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, you feel like you're someone who can literally go and do anything at all. Like, you can go and literally jump off a skyscraper and be perfectly fine, which obviously you wouldn't, but just in that mindset, that's how you feel if this is all legitimate. And when it comes to this stuff, there is actually a random fan that somehow made their way into this whole entire vibe, as you guys can go and even see up in this video itself. So it got even more kind of crazy because this person's obviously not in the right state of mind. You know, I'm saying, like, there has been rumors that it's all been faked for publicity. That's why I'm only saying, like, allegedly or, like, if, etc. Like, no disrespect entitled there. But you guys are seeing this type of stuff where, like, there's this random guy who showed up in the midst of all this craziness going on. You guys can kind of see he's just there. He's just there in the background. This girl's just like making random TikToks, doing random stuff. No idea who this person is at any point too as well. And like people are just so confused. They're just like, first of all, these people thought they were okay too as well. But then this point, like a lot of people are like, hey, like you don't know this person. This person could become like potentially like bad. Like, where are your people? Where are your family? Where's your manager? Like, what's going on? Like, this is not safe too as well. Get him out here too. Like, he intentionally, like, I think at this point he made a proper TikTok and was like, I'm just gonna show up at this random crazy girl's house, and just showing up in the first place. He was trying to find her and hang out with her. She's going through this major kind of crazy breakdown too as well. And all these people are just like, what is going on? Like, is there watching this? Because if it's real, this is awful. Like, some random guy found some pretty famous woman, YouTuber and like TikToker, and just randomly showed up at her house for multiple days as she's going through like a pretty big mental breakdown. And this eventually ended up like a few days later, like 2 or 3 days later, like her essentially getting the cops involved, kind of like probably more so coming to her senses and being like, who even are you? Why are you in my house? What is going on? But of course, why it's even more skeptical is because it was all online, and of course, obviously, that was probably one of the more bigger viewership videos because people are kind of waiting for this build-up and waiting for this drama. And this is why it's always kind of hard to see this, because I could totally see how someone who has done this stuff before, because we've seen like so many multiple different types of things. Like, here's even an article over here from literally a year ago, where it's called, Why is Everyone So Mad at Gabbie Hanna? This YouTuber has been the center of a number of scandals, big and small, and as well, like her getting an apology is also not making people happy. And she's kind of been like these kind of more, for lack of better terms, kind of the artsy, like drama kid, if you guys were ever in school, like theater type kid style, where they like to do like these showings and like to go and like at the end of like a 500 TikTok over a 2-day span where people are legitimately concerned over their well-being, want to go make like a video and be like, hey, this is how people actually act. Like, you should have like mental health awareness. Where good idea in theory, good concept in theory, but could also be very, very not good to do that for the sake of like, entertainment. But as well, on the opposite side, because she has a really big like track record of all this stuff, which is why people are skeptical and people are being like, this is probably maybe fake just for publicity. On the reverse side too as well, if this is actual like a proper mental disorder that she has, this is probably a very, very scary thing to go through. Because this news got big enough where we're even seeing like articles over here in different languages discussing on this, where they're making like in entirely different languages over here in the first place, where they're talking about how she went through all these like actual videos up on TikTok and everyone's worried about her. You have all these other people too as well discussing this whole situation too on top of this, where people are just all super worried about this too as well. And like, it's just been going everywhere. It's at the point where it's on TMZ, it's on the point where it's on other news as well. So it's just one of those really crazy situations, because number one, like this, no matter what, if it was real or not, this was a huge sense of publicity. When you guys go through this too as well, where she's like, oh my God, like I called the cops on him. People are like trying to get more into the legal stuff like 18 hours ago, where he entered under like false pretenses. He didn't technically go break on into as well. People are like, he was making TikToks the entire time in the first place. Some people are saying he didn't break in. Some people are saying he literally brought him in there in the first place. So like literally everyone is just all going all over the place. Because like everyone's like, bro, like you invite him in on a TikTok. But then if she's also in like a not clear state of mental mind, then clearly that's like making like walking to someone like dementia's house and saying like you know them or they invited you in. Like, you can kind of see how it could definitely go into some really weird legal issues and mental issues, etc., etc. But as well, like now people are getting upset with her because some people are like, bro, like you can't keep on calling out this dude, and the guy's like, no, I'm just trying to be helpful and stuff. But on the other reverse side, on his counterpoint, you have all these other people who are like, bro, you just broke into a random woman's house. You could have done anything to her, even things not on camera, because we don't know what is going on at this point. And it just kind of seems like one of the weirdest, strangest situations going on. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with a lot of this case too, completely understand this kind of a random weird video, but I just found it so intriguing because this was ongoing for like a 5-day. Every like 20 minutes, there was a brand new random update and a brand new saga and a brand new everything going on. And it was just a really, really weird situation because you have one girl going through absolutely everything in her head. You have a random guy showing up. You have the coming of Jesus moments going on TikTok. You're getting some person getting millions of views and trending up on Twitter and going through with this and getting a bunch more, even more followers. But at the same time, was it fake? Was it real? When it comes to YouTube, no one even knows at this point. No one even knows what's actually properly real and not in general. So this is just a really weird story. Just a really weird situation, and it's almost kind of strange being an onlooker because you're just like, what on earth do I keep seeing? But it was almost like addicting, where you just kept on going through every single different one over here just to go and see what's going on and what dramas are going on in the first place too as well. And yeah, This is crazy. It's been crazy, just one thing after another after another. So give me your thoughts and comments down below, because please be safe. Please check on the family you love, especially if they're acting weird like this and making 500 TikToks. And I still would want to know if this was actually fake or not, depending on the whole situation and how this all played on out. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. We'd love to hear it.